Castleford Tigers 16, the Leigh Leopards 34. It was a battle of the Predators at the jungle this week. On one side, it was Cringer. On the other side was Battlecat. The only thing that was missing was He-Man himself, albeit Leigh Leopards have got plenty of those in abundance in their 1-17. A great win yet again from the Leopards. They came out firing, didn't they, in this one, as they do. Tom and Moan. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Get out of the way. In he goes for the first try. And then he was part of what could arguably be one of the best tries they've scored this season. Beautiful little ball through a Moan. Straight onto it. Pass to his right-hand side to John Asiata, who then finds Lachlan Lamb. A piece of absolute genius from the Leopards. And then, of course, Briscoe going in on the right-hand side. Briscoe's 11 try in 18 games this season. Not a bad return at all by our Tommy on the right-hand side there. And 18-0, you're thinking, well, here we go. You know, this could be a cricket score. But fair play to Castleford. You know, they came back. Widdop scoring his try. Wallace then went in as well for them. Going in 18-12 down at half-time. So, actually, you know, it's still game on at that point. But then, of course, Josh Charnley gets his first of two. Wallace getting his second try in between the Charnley two tries. You know, fair play to him before Lachlan Lamb capped it off for the Leigh Leopards. Really impressed with young Wallace. 5 appearances now for Castleford this year. 3 tries for him. Only 23 years of age. You know, taking his opportunity well, it has to be said, for Castleford. As for Josh Charnley, you know, in this form of his life, having a great season. That is his 22nd try of the season. He now stands alone, one ahead of Tom Johnston of the Catalan Dragons. That battle has been outstanding all season, hasn't it, between those two? But there's just so much quality in the Leigh team this season. I mean, I mentioned Mone. What a player this guy is. Yes, he got his try, but another 165 metres from 16 carries in this. The man is an absolute animal. He really is. Asiata, you know, really good battle. You know, who's going to come out on top? Westerman. We know Westerman's quality for Castleford. And actually, you know, credit where credit is due to Westerman. You know, carried the ball for 21 carries, 122 metres in this one, 35 tackles. Really got himself involved as he does. And, you know, him and Asiata, very similar in the way that they play rugby league. Asiata, 2 try assists in this one. Outstanding. 125 metres for 26 carries from him, 35 tackles as well. So both of those two players showing their class. Lachlan Lamb yet again. If he's not setting them up, he's scoring them himself. A beautiful brace from Lamb. Of course, at the end of In the Shed, you're going to see that wonderful try that I mentioned a few moments ago. Absolutely sensational. We've talked a lot over the years about Salford, you know, Salford spine, how good the Salford spine is. You know, we now need to be considering the Leigh Leopard spine in the same breath, really, don't we? I mean, Gareth O'Brien, you know, at full back, 3 try assists in this one from O'Brien. You know, really solid player. You know, gets involved in attacking phases really well. 3 assists, you can't argue with that, can you? Then you move forward. You know, the Reynolds/Lamb combination. Then, of course, Pape, and of course John Asiata in that loose forward position. Arguably the best spine in Super League consistently this season. You know, it's difficult to argue against that, isn't it? It really is. So yeah, Leigh continue to impress, continue to strive forward in this season. Let's just hope that they're not running out of petrol before that semi-final game against St Helens, that of course is on the horizon. Castleford, of course, well, they'll be panicking maybe just a little bit now with that Wakefield Trinity win at home to the Wigan Warriors. They would have been hoping that Wigan did them a favour. Just 2 points now separate Castleford Tigers and Wakefield Trinity. And, you know, 304 deficit plays a 248 deficit on the points difference. That's going to be interesting, of course. The Wakefield game looms on the horizon, of course, for the Castleford Tigers, and it is at Wakefield as well. That one on the 20th of August. That's one not to be missed, and who knows where these two teams will be by the time we get to that one. Next up for the Castleford Tigers will be Hull FC away, and then the Robins away before Huddersfield at home. So on paper, they are playing teams in the bottom half of the table. You know, KR losing to FC this week. So they'll be looking at those games as opportunities maybe to get some points on the board. But I mean, these are now critical moments for the Castleford Tigers, you feel. I do. I think that, you know, of the two sides, there's no arguing. Wakefield, 3 wins in 4. You know, Castleford, they just do not compare to that, do they, quite frankly? They're on a 3-game losing streak now. So, you know, they'll be very concerned going into this next phase of the season. As, of course, for the Leigh Leopards, well, next up for Leigh will be the Salford Red Devils away. Salford, of course, already having done a double against Leigh at the Sports Village this season. They will not be taking that for granted, but arguably, Leigh will be coming into this game in better form, clearly in better position in the league. That should be an absolute belter down at the Salford Community Stadium next weekend. Then it's Wigan away. What a game that's going to be. Wigan away. When we got the Battle of the Borough earlier in the season, I think it's fair to say that, they were still finding the feet maybe a little bit, were the Leigh Leopards. They were beaten comfortably, if you remember, 34 points to 6 in that one. They will be looking forward to maybe getting a bit of revenge at the DW Stadium. Used to say they won't do that, of course. And then it's Leeds away. So, some really tricky fixtures on the horizon for the Leigh Leopards, of course, in there, that semi-final against St. Helens as well. How much is that going to distract them? Certainly next week, of course, because the Challenge Cup game will be the week after. But Leigh Leopards are second in Super League with a 147 point advantage in the the points scored versus conceded. 147. Saints at 120 in third place. Of course, Saints have that game in hand, so only 27 points behind Leigh in terms of that. Should they win the game in hand against Huddersfield, whenever that is going to be. But do you know what? Leigh might be looking at this. Let's just take a breath here, people. Catalan take on St. Helens this week. Catalan takes on St. Helens this week. And, you're only talking just shy of maybe 30 points there, separating Catalan and the Leigh Leopards. Leigh Leopards, could they be top of Super League at the end of round number 19? Let's leave in the sheds right there, shall we? Be the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Who's to say they won't? Round 19, one not to be missed. Will we be saying this time next week that the Leigh Leopards, with all their He-Man, not many She-Ras, and all the rest of it, going full throttle, will the Leigh Leopards be going into that Challenge Cup semi-final, top of Super League? You wouldn't bet against it, would you? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. We'll see you next time on In the Sheds as the Castleford Tigers go down at home to 34 points to 16. We'll see you next time.